Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned into Power Breakfast on CNBC TV 18. Now we have our research team joining in with us to set you up for the trade today. How is the trade set up? What are the important stocks to watch out for? As well as what are we expecting in the world of F&O? So let me start with you, Vivek. Good morning. How is the market setup looking like? Nifty implied open is indicating a very flat start as of now.
That's right, Winnie. Good morning. First up, like you mentioned at the start of the show, so many overnight cues of Fed pausing rates, US markets ending slightly lower, whole host of companies, especially in the US, mega stocks or mega companies that have actually delivered their results. So quite a lot to digest before market opens today. But overall, slightly muted, handover as far as US markets are concerned. Oil prices too slipped yesterday, after the brief respite they saw on Tuesday, once again fell, and Brent now hovering around the $76.50 a barrel mark. Well, Indian markets yesterday enjoyed a very strong session, and the key highlight was the fact that there was a very strong bounce back as far as the broader end of the markets are concerned. Mid-cap and small-cap indices bounced back very sharply yesterday, and that is something that made portfolios feel a lot better. Advanced decline ratio in yesterday's trading session was very strong. Now, yesterday you actually saw outsized reactions to good earnings, and that is something that the market will look for even today. So TVS Motors, Syrma, KPIT, CG, Power, Deepak Fertilizers, all of these companies reported earnings as the day first day, post-market hours or yesterday during market hours. All of them saw very strong up moves. The other set of stocks that were in focus was the pharma pack. Remember, pharma pack sold off very sharply. This is after there was a pause as far as funding was concerned. There was also worries about tariffs coming in. After that, there was a very sharp sell-off. But yesterday, the entire pack did very well. A sharp bounce back as far as pharma was concerned. Earnings reaction today. Some of the key stocks include Tata Motors, Bajaj Finance. Key results today: L&T, Steel Cement, whole host of other companies too will be declaring their results. Asian markets, GIFT Nifty, all indicating a very flat start for our markets today.
Okay, Vivek, thank you so much for that. But let's go across now to Hormaz, who's here to tell us which are the important stocks that we should be keeping on our radar. Hormaz, I'm sure there's a long list of earnings that are there in this list.
Morning, Vinny. And if it's not a long list, it's problematic, right, during an earnings season. So yes, it is indeed a long list. Tata Motors to start off with that overall results were a miss on expectations, but the commentary is something that the street might take some heart from, is that JLR wholesales will improve further in the fourth quarter, and they are on track to achieve the profitability and cash flow targets in FY25, but they remain watchful of the demand situation, particularly in China, and there have been some brokerage downgrades that have come in as well. Bajaj Finance's results saw double-digit growth on the NII and the net profit front. Asset quality was stable, but for the FY26 they expect net profit to grow between 22 to 23%. They expect AUM growth of 25%, and they also see credit costs at 2% in FY26, provided that the fourth quarter credit cost remains between 200 to 205 basis points. And they also said that they are on track to cross 100 million customer franchise by the end of FY25. Now, Blue Star's results were either in line or above expectations on a year-on-year basis as well. Sees healthy growth in revenue and margin expansion as well, so you keep an eye out on that. Raymond's revenues were up 40%. Margins also saw an expansion of close to 300 basis points from last year, so another positive result on the operational front from Raymond. Aarti Drugs said that this API segment faced some pressure this quarter because of lack of demand and reduced market prices as well. However, they said that they remain confident of double-digit revenue growth and 13 to 14% margins in FY26. SRF's results, where the chemical business finally saw some growth after a slew of disappointing quarters, but they said that they are seeing gradual increase in demand for the chemical business, and the fluorochem business also saw support for refrigerants as well. Remember, the stock was higher yesterday after Gujarat Fluorochem said that refrigerant gas prices may increase in the future as well. Restaurant Brands Asia, well, their net loss widened from last year. Margins also narrowed on a year-on-year basis, so keep an eye out on that. JK Paper, the struggle continues there. Net profits are down almost 70%. Margins are down almost 1,000 basis points from last year. It'll be interesting to see what the management has to say on this. And lastly, Sona BLW, where they've signed an MOU with the E-Plane company to develop powertrains for eVTOLs and drones. And lastly, GR Infra, which has emerged as an L1 bidder for a Western Railway project worth 260 crore rupees. Back to you.
Okay, Hormaz, thank you so much for all the stocks that we should be keeping on our radar this morning. But on that note, let's go across to Sudarshan, who's here to tell us what's going to be happening in the world of F&O. Good morning, Sudarshan.
Good morning, Vinny. So both domestic and global cues are looking mixed after a strong day of trade that we saw yesterday. We saw mid-cap index closing with gain of more than 2%, while it was a healthy gain for both Sensex and Nifty. For today, GIFT Nifty is indicating a very flat start. Talking about the flows, FIs continue to sell. Yesterday, they sold more than rupees 2,500 crore in the cash market, while DIs have bought nearly rupees 1,800 crore. But in the index future side, in the index option, FIs have bought nearly 21,600 crore, and in the stock futures, they have bought nearly 2,900 crore. Now in the last 6 days, they have bought in stock futures nearly 10,000 crore. But talking about the index futures, they bought yesterday 166 crore, and they have reduced long positions by 6,850 contracts. Also, they have reduced short positions by more than 19,000 contracts. With this, FI's long exposure now stands around 25%, and on the client side, long exposure is around 70%. On the option side, two calls, 23,400 and 23,000 calls were active, and now looks like on the downside for Nifty, it's capped around 23,000. So support is now seen somewhere around 23,000, and resistance is now at 23,350. That is also 20-day moving average. Two stocks that will be in focus. First, KPIT Tech. Earnings were mixed, but guidance, they had raised EBIT margin guidance, and even in the commentary, company has given a very strong commentary, so stock will in focus. Second is Laurus Labs. Previous two sessions before yesterday, stock had seen a big fall, but yesterday you saw that stock moved 7% higher after US government announced that executive order that government announced a few days ago. Now it has paused that executive order. That's the reason we saw a big move in Laurus Labs. So keep an eye on these two stocks.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Sudarshan. But